Recently, the Lagos state government announced plans to clamp down on miscreants, street beggars, and hawkers. Now, anyone who is familiar with Lagos will know that the word miscreant is ambiguous in that space. It's not even by the way you dress. You can see a man in three-piece suit looking all put together, and in a split of a second, he has undressed, to engage in a free-for-all fight. Lagos is such a wild place. Now, when people want to take advantage of you, nobody will teach you before you switch from a good-looking bank manager to a street fighter. And sometimes the real miscreants are even wearing designers and blinks. So it can be confusing. In the case of street beggars who use children for their hustle, government is saying they risk 10 years jail term. I will actually suggest 20, The most disturbing are the street hawkers who government believe some of them are robbers in disguise. But I trust Lagosians. They will turn the situation into a new business. You see a bus passenger in traffic, murmuring, "I feel very hungry. I don't even know why the government is frustrating us by sending these hawkers away." You just hear driver tell conductor, "Muri, be the law, baby, we will marry plantain chips. 150 new, why be sit lane? Bottle water, 2 no 150." Now, the interesting thing is that different governments have tried achieving this same feat in Lagos, but the policy keeps experiencing bottlenecks. Even as far back as 5 years ago, we've been hearing the same thing. So let's see if this particular one will be carried out effectively. Kano State went agog for the wedding ceremony of Yusuf, the son of Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari. He got married to Zara, the daughter of the Emir of Bichi, Alhaji Nasir Ado Bayero. Now, some Nigerians were frustrated by this news because they think the rich should not be marrying the rich, so that wealth can circulate. Something like using the last scoop of the stew in your pot to make jollof rice. Now, I think this is what happens when people watch too much of Nigerian epic movies where a beautiful princess falls in love with a palace guard. They happen for real life. In this particular case, for example, both of them met in the UK. So just imagine. But one Bolaji who lives around Soka in Ibadan, he wants to stumble on a billionaire's daughter inside a betting shop. It cannot work, brah. Many prominent Nigerians were in attendance, and this was evident in the number of private jets that were parked, at the airport, like a cluster of yellow buses at Oshodi Expressway. Some other people had issues with this. In a state where Islamic laws are largely enforced under the tenets of Sharia, some Nigerians have come out to say this shouldn't have happened, except those laws are meant only for the poor and middle class. Anyway, we practice a democratic system and opinion is free. It was another celebration galore in Ode Ishekiri, Delta State, but this time around, it was for the coronation of a new Olu of Warri. The event was full of glitz and glamour, and Omoba Shola Emiko is now Ogiame Atuwashe III. So let's go straight into history class. He ascended the throne of his forefathers as the 21st Olu of Warri. And his father, Ogiame Atuwashe II, was the 19th Olu of Warri. Now, if you recall that the 20th Olu of Warri, Ogiame Ikenwoli, passed away in December 2020, and it has been a tussle within the ruling family ranks about who will be his successor. Now, while the present king was in 90-day seclusion, legal actions against him were still being raised, and the sacred crown was stolen away from the palace, few days to the coronation. However, the 37-year-old monarch is now official, with a new Pepper crown, made from gold and silver. Now, I can imagine the question in your mind already. What happens to the crown that was stolen? Have you heard of iron condemn? Yes, those are the guys that will buy it, those guys that buy and pick metal scraps of all types. It might likely end in their cart. The new king reversed some long-existing curses laid by his predecessors, gave his wife and mom new titles, and shared words of blessing and hope with his subjects that are spread all over the world. In other news, celebrity businessman Obinna Iyegbu, popularly known as Obi Cubana, visited his alma mater, University of Nigeria, Nsukka, and he shared the details on his Instagram page. He met with the Vice Chancellor, among other university officials, and shared his plans for the institution. My brother also, so that you can show that everywhere when you show up, and Vice Chancellor can give you audience as an alumni. Now, let's be honest. First class student that is still looking for urgent 2K cannot see VC. It's not possible. How? Now, if you attended a government-owned institution, you will know that seeing your HOD is a big deal, not to talk of your VC. He will do sign of the cross like 3 times before knocking on his door. This particular picture during his visit looks like the picture of a lecturer who was trying to impress their guests. I can imagine something like, Vice Chancellor, sir, Record has it that this gentleman was a very level-headed student when he was with us here, and we have always known that he will be a giant in the society. And Cubana in his mind will just be like, "Mado, you didn't want me." A lot of Nigerians are beginning to think this businessman has politics in his plans with his back-to-back doings. So let's see how this plays out on the long run. My name is Shagazi, and this is where we draw the curtain on this episode of Recently. Remember to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. I'll see you next week. Bye for now.